This will be part 2 of our lesson on 4.4, proving lines parallel. We have 4 ways to show that lines are parallel. And if you remember, they're just the converses of the 3 theorems and the 1 postulate we learned in last section, and the section before. So if we want these lines to be parallel, we need to identify the relationship that these angles have first. These angles are corresponding angles. And I'm going to break this horribly, it looks like. Corresponding angles. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a mess. Corresponding angles. If you want the lines to be parallel, your corresponding angles need to be the same. So 48x, whatever that is, needs to be the same as this, 45x plus 3. You need them to be the same, so set them equal. Then we're going to solve our equation for x. So we're going to subtract 45x. So we're going to get 3x equals 3. We divide by 3. So x is 1. If your x value equals 1, then these lines are guaranteed to be parallel. If x is anything different than 1, then they aren't going to be parallel. This next example shows you 2 angles that are consecutive interior. And this one's really important because consecutive interior angles, they're not going to be congruent most of the time. They need to be supplementary. So that's a completely different equation. Your 13x plus 8 and your 3x plus 12, these angles are most likely not going to be the same. You need to set up the equation so that they add up to 180. One of them's acute and one of them's obtuse. That's the difference here. So we're going to add these angles. And we need to get 180 degrees total. So we're going to add 13x and 3x. We're going to add 8 and 12. And together, those are going to add up to 180. We're going to subtract 20 from both sides. Then we're going to divide by 16. So if x equals 10, then these lines are going to be parallel. If x is anything different than 10, they will not be parallel. We'll do one more. We want these lines to be parallel. We're going to identify the angle pair relationship. These are alternate exterior angles. If you want these lines to be parallel, then these alternate exterior angles need to be congruent. So 6x minus 50, whatever that is, needs to equal 4x plus 10. So we'll subtract 4x from both sides. That's a 4. That'll give you a 2x minus 50 equals 10. We'll add 50. So 2x equals 60. Divide by 2. And then we'll get x equals 30. If x equals 30, the lines will be parallel. If it's anything else, they're not going to be parallel. So you do these ones basically the same way that you did the ones in the last two sections.